There's a lot of games that are being ported over to new consoles nowadays. We're in like the era of taking games and remastering and remaking them. We're in that era of video games now. And Nintendo has been the one that's really been doing that, especially with their Nintendo Online subscription service, where they now have games that you can play emulated from older consoles, from the NES, SNES, all that type of stuff. And there's certain games on those that have just been like, they've been completely re-released on those consoles. Like, for example, Twilight Princess and Wind Waker were re-released on the Wii U a while ago, which people would love to see those versions, by the way, on your Nintendo Online. Please, maybe just re-release them for Switch. I think people would be all for that. We have Skyward Sword from the Wii was re-released for the Switch. We just recently had the both Mario Galaxy games from the Wii put onto the Switch. So Nintendo isn't afraid to re-release a game from an older console, but there are some games that are still stuck on their respective consoles. And I wanted to go forward today and talk about the games that are still stuck on the GameCube. This is not every game that's still stuck on the GameCube. It's just a couple I figured. I'm like, oh, that one should probably come over, So here's what I got. Well, first off, what I want to talk about was Dance Dance Mario Mix. This is a Dance Dance Revolution game, but it's got a Mario skin on it. I believe this is the first Dance Dance Revolution game to be released on a Nintendo console outside of Japan, which is crazy, and the reason that is probably because they needed to have a Mario skin on it. That's freaking crazy. You got a dance pad controller with it too when you got the game, which is alright. That's fun. This game has a story mode. I mean, would it really be a Mario game if there wasn't a story mode? So the story mode is Mario and Luigi going through the Mushroom Kingdom to retrieve the missing music keys. So you gotta find the missing music keys by dancing, boogieing down. Once you do a track in the story mode, then you can do it in free play. So, that's fine at least. You can purchase items during the story mode that can be used to help you. It was crazy that they even went and like, you know what, we're gonna do a freaking story mode to a Mario dancing game. That is crazy. And while Luigi steals the keys at first and then eventually goes to Bowser, because of course it does. It was filled with a bunch of Mario tracks. So, you have the World 1-1 theme is there. You've got the bonus stage theme from Wrecking Crew is on here. You've got the underwater music from Super Mario Bros., the overworld theme from Super Mario Bros. 3, which is an iconic one. You've even got a Wario World song in here as well with the Greenhorn Forest. And obviously they're not called that, they are called different names in it, but this is just what they're based on. They got Bowser's Castle song from freaking Double Dash. They went a bit all out picking some stuff here. Now, obviously the reason this is still stuck is how the hell are you gonna do this now? Well, because, you need a dance pad. I'm sure you can figure a way out, man. I'm sure we can figure out some way. I'm sure if we could still do the... Well, I mean, they're not dance games now, but they have, these dancing rhythm games now. I'm sure you can find a way to do that just with this game, with Mario thing. Or maybe make a new one. Just Dance, right? It's Just Dance. I mean, Just Dance Mario Edition, right? Come on, we can do that. But this is fun to me. It's something I don't think people really know about. This is fun to see. Something that's been lost to time, and I think Nintendo might want you to forget, are the GameCube games that revolved around the Donkey Kong bongos. You guys remember the DK bongos? Yeah, you do. They were mainly used for the Donkey Konga games, which were rhythm-based games. And, think of it like a rock band, type of thing, right? Where instead of you pressing the button on a fake guitar, you have to smash the bongos. It was pretty sweet. But the Donkey Konga games are still stuck on the GameCube because of, the bongos. I say, you know what? A lot of people like rhythm games, okay? I'm not a rhythm game guy, but I understand that people love them. So give them what they want, man. Do another Donkey Konga. Do another Donkey Konga, or just port them over and make new DK bongos. People will people will eat that up. Are you kidding me? Make new DK bongos that are compatible with the Switch? Crazy. And don't just stop at Donkey Konga. When you get the bongos, bring in DK Barrel Blast. Not DK Barrel Blast. Donkey Kong Jungle Beat, which was an actual freaking like a full-on video game, like a full-on platform game that used the bongos as the controls, which is crazy. Now they did port Jungle Beat to the Wii with actual normal controls, which I think most people would prefer. So if you would, maybe you can have both versions where it's like you can use the bongos, but you could also use regular controls. That would be nice. Bring those over. Why not? Let's have fun. You're trying to revitalize DK. Let's show them beating bongos, baby. Let's go. Another one I want brought over, and this is for me and I think a few other people who know this. Nintendo doesn't really lend itself to horror that much. They should. I really like them to. They put their toes into every franchise, really. But horror they don't really go into a lot. And I mean, come on, man. When they announced the GameCube Nintendo Switch Online service, one of the first games everyone said was Eternal Darkness Sanity's Requiem. That to me is a fantastic horror game. It screws with you, right? Like as you play, it messes with your TV. Like it's a trip. It is the first ever Nintendo game to get the M rating, which is crazy. Well, I should say it's the first ever like game that was published by Nintendo, right? To get an M rating, right? Which is like, it's a big deal. I mean, it's a big thing in history, and a lot of people really like this game. I do too. I think it's a great horror game, and I'm not a big horror fan, but I still think Eternal Darkness is fucking amazing. And I would love to see this put over. So maybe even if you don't get a remake, at least put it on the Switch Online service so it's not stuck on the freaking GameCube forever. Now to keeping with the M rating, let's go to Geist, which is the second Nintendo published game to get an M rating. So Geist was a first-person shooter, and it never released in Japan, which is crazy. That a Nintendo game never released in Japan. It never got to that point because it was just received not well. It just didn't get a well performance. And they just decided, screw it, man. We're not even going to publish this in Japan. That is crazy. But I hear Geist talk about a lot. I personally never played it. It's a first-person shooter. I'm not a huge FPS fan, so like this game doesn't really speak to me. I'm not a huge fan of FPSs. I like watching them, playing them something else. But I mean, people talk about Geist now. It's kind of got a bit of a cult following a bit now. So why not? Bring it over. Let's do it. Metroid Prime 4 is out, and it's not getting that well received. So maybe Geist can do something about that, huh? Let's see if Geist can do something about that. This one, I mean, it's a no-brainer. We just had Kirby Air Riders, and Kirby Air Riders is doing really well. And I think it's only a matter of time for them to put Kirby Air Ride on the NSO. That's just only a matter of time. I don't think a re-release or a port is coming for Air Ride because they have Air Riders now. But at the very least, they'll definitely put it on Switch Online, and I'd love for that. I think Kirby Air Ride's a lot of fun. I can't wait to play Air Riders when the Switch stops costing me my fucking mortgage, and I can actually own it. So, that'll be fun. And I think Kirby Air Ride's just a given. At this point, it's gonna happen. Something that, speaking of racing games, let's go to F-Zero GX. F-Zero 99 was a huge success. People loved it, and there's always clamoring for a new F-Zero game. So, for the moment, I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know if Nintendo sees F-Zero as a big property anymore, considering how it doesn't sell well, or as well as, other stuff does. So I don't know if a new F-Zero game, full-on, 3D F-Zero game is possible. So at the very least, F-Zero GX, port over. Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. I want this. I really do want this. Now, okay. Fire Emblem Path of Radiance is, you might not think, why would we pick this one, right? I'm gonna go with picking Path of Radiance for one reason in particular, is it really was the first Fire Emblem game console-wise in the West to really hit off. You know, you had Blazing Blade and Sacred Stones did really, really well in the West for the GBA. So and then Path of Radiance came out, and now that was like, oh wow, we could actually, Fire Emblem actually works in the West. Holy shit, you know. So I think just for that, put Path of Radiance on somewhere, right? NSO is probably most likely. I would do that. There's a huge Fire Emblem fan base, and I can't wait to fully go into Fire Emblem. My experience with Fire Emblem is Awakening, Fates, and Shadows of Valentia, and a bit of Three Houses. Never played Three Houses, but I've watched stuff for Three Houses. And same thing with Engage. Watched a bit of Engage, never really did much with it. But definitely Awakening, Fates, and Echoes are the ones I've played personally. And I would love to just full on go through it all, right? I want to do that one day, is fully just go through Fire Emblem. And it'd be so much easier for Path of Radiance to be, you know, available somewhere. You know, now Path of Radiance, like stuck on GameCube. Come on, man. It's a Fire Emblem game. You know Fire Emblem fans are going to do it. They're hyping up. They got a new one coming out. We got a new Fire Emblem title in the works coming out next year. So maybe sometime soon they can be, hey, Path of Radiance is now on NSO to celebrate the new release, because this was the first one in the States that actually fucking worked. So pretty cool, huh? Yeah, that I would like that. Then we have Legend of Zelda 4 Sword Adventures. This is a fun multiplayer. This would be, if you can get the online aspect of this to work, fucking people would play the shit out of this, man. You know, back in the day on the GameCube, you had to use the fucking GBA, and like that was weird. You know, I think it's cool that, you know, they tried to do something like that even back then to get 4 people to play. But now it would be a lot easier with online and having each of your friends online control a Link. Or you can have couch play co-op, 4 people play as a Link. Like, I think that'd just be a lot of fun. And I think the best thing for this one is probably an NSO thing for online as well. But I just think that's fun because pretty much all the Zelda GameCube games are now somewhere else, right? Like, Wind Waker is on NSO now, and then there was the re-release on Wii U. Twilight Princess is on Wii, and then that was re-released on Wii U. So, like, that type of thing. So, come on. I think leaving 4 Swords alone, just release it on NSO somewhere, and people will have a lot of fun playing that online, I think. And now we're going to go through a bunch of Mario games, which is Mario Golf Toadstool Tour, Mario Kart Double Dash, Mario Parties 4 through 7, and Mario Baseball. So, to go through them, Mario Golf, who gives a fuck, really? It's just stuck on there, and we don't really need it, to be honest, because we have Mario Golf on the Switch 1, and just play that. Really, I just have this here just because it's stuck there, and I figured I'd talk about it. But I don't think Toadstool Tour is needed. Mario Kart Double Dash is something, to this day, people will tell you Double Dash is their favorite Mario, right? Mario Kart, right? Rightfully so. It's a great game. I think. To me, it's the true moment Mario Kart was like, oh, you fucking got it. You know? Like, yes, you can say, you know, Mario Kart 64, which is a good game, but to me, Double Dash was when it was like, oh, you've understood the assignment. You now understand this series, kind of, right? And then Wii and 7, 8, World, like they kind of realized after Mario Kart Double Dash what Mario Kart needed to be, and it's such a cool mechanic, isn't it? You just swap between the 2 characters. There's items that are individually like only to those characters or exclusive to like characters. You can mash up your partners and all that. It's just fun. That's just a cool idea, and a lot of the courses are just super sweet, and I'd love to see them come back. The fact that they hadn't put this on NSO yet is crazy, right? Like, come on, man. It's right fucking there. It's a layup. Mario Party 4 through 7, I don't think they're needed now because Jamboree is kind of the Mario Party that we're doing. But I'm only putting this here because you have the first 3 Mario Parties up on the NSO service. So it just makes sense to put 4 through 7 up as well. That just makes total sense to me. Just, why not? You have the first 3, might as well put the other ones. Mario Baseball, though. Mario Baseball, which we'll talk about. When it comes to the Mario sports games, I have heard quite a lot of people saying they'd like to see a new Mario baseball game. I personally am not too fucking fond of baseball, so I wouldn't play the fuck out of this at all. But hey, if their demand is there, right? Do it. You know, and I've heard people say they want a baseball. We've got golf, tennis, we've got racing, we've got strikers for soccer, you know. Why not? Baseball too. It's been a while since we've had a Mario baseball game. I believe the last one was Super Sluggers for the Wii, which came out back in 2008. So, you know, oof, it's been a while since we've had a Mario baseball game. Why not? Nintendo will randomly put out a new Mario baseball game, and all the Nintendo fanboys will slurp it up like the fucking goons you are. So why not, man? Put this one out there to test, see if people enjoy it, and maybe there's a market for another Mario baseball game. And that does it. Those are my GameCube games that I think are stuck on the GB. And I would like to see them out. I'd like to see them come back somewhere, some form or fashion. I think there's a market out there for them. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Is there a game I missed that you would like to see be freed from its purgatory on the GameCube? Let me know in the comments down below. And everyone, I shall see you all next time.